Hello guys, do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, hello. We are starting in just 30 seconds, okay?
Can I share my screen so I can show the presentation?
Yes, yes. We will allow you.
Okay, that's cool. Uh,
can you hear me? Okay. So let's start our teaching today. Let's start with greetings from Egypt team and quarantine hackathon team. We welcome all participants from different regions and different countries, and we also welcome our judges from Action for Industry, Student Activity Committee, and other reputable hackathons. Okay. The number of participants that have participated in quarantine hackathon is around 340 teams, and the judges have selected the top 15. They are from Switzerland, Italy, Lebanon, Turkey, Germany, Egypt, Qatar, France, Algeria, United Kingdom, Cyprus, and Spain. So congratulations to all 15 teams. And today we are moving to pitching phase to select the 3 winners who can receive a seed fund up to $1,200 for each team. Okay, so let's start with. I have also Muhammad Amin as a moderator. Each team will pitch for 5 minutes, and there is another 5 minutes for questions. There is another. Can you hear me now, sir? Okay. And there is another 5 minutes for questions. And Muhammad Amin will moderate these questions. So, Salah, can you introduce yourself and start sharing with us the slides? And please, if there are some teammates, please introduce them also. And don't forget to mention the name of the team. Okay. Yes, you see the laptop? Yes. We cannot hear your voice. Could you please check your connection? Okay.
So I guess till Salah.
My voice clear now?
Yes. Salah, now we can hear you clearly.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going
Yes, Salah. The 5 minutes starts now.
and there's no name. Hello, everyone. Hello, thank you for this online teaching. So, the unexpected is of COVID-19. Many companies could not apply because people really had to go out to change shows, which caused them and these times for the virus. So,
Hello.
by
Yes. Salah.
so let's say I am by something so just like
Hello. So Salah, it's better to stop sharing because the voice is breaking. So it's better to send us the document that you are referring to, and we can restart by you speaking only about what you want to say to us, but without sharing, so we can have a better connection. So in the meantime, for the audience, our first project is by Salahuddin Maktour from Algeria, which is under the name of Quick COVID-19 Shopping App. And the aim of this app is to help people who cannot buy online to make their ordinary shopping faster, safer, and more efficient, to help them avoid catching COVID-19 and to stay at home as long as possible. So in the meantime, Salah will restart again because of the connection issue. So Salah, can you restart again? We received your document.
اشتغل to the first page. I just tell you where to go. Do you?
So Salah, can you stop sharing? And what we will do is Amr will share the.
So hello everyone. Good morning. So we want to open the so after countries could not like afford because people really have to ask to obtain these tools, which before is like for
Salah, I think the problem is still there for the connection.
And you have a bad connection, so we are going to move to the second team till we fix your connection, okay?
Okay, thank you, Salah. The organizing team will be contacting you definitely for a different slot. Thank you. So Amr, let's move with the next team.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, I am from the team Title Predictions.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Arushi, if you can hear me, just mute here on Meet.
Okay, the next team is Title Predictions. So
hello. Yeah.
You can start. Please introduce yourself, and if there are some teammates who participated in the project, so could you introduce themselves also?
Yes.
And also, please share your screen with us.
Yes.
You have 5 minutes to pitch your idea, as we sent an email to you. Also, we have another 5 minutes for questions. So
okay.
The countdown starts now.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it is visible. Please proceed.
Okay. Hello. We are the team Title Predictions, and we're a team of 3. So we consist of Arun, Arushi, that's me, and Rohan. And our idea for Team Hackathon is to aid existing tidal systems in maximizing their power output by incorporating machine learning to predict tidal heights. So to give you an overall view of the problem that we're trying to solve, the problem came to us when we saw various news articles. There were lots of countries whose, electricity demand during COVID was decreasing, but there were also a few countries whose electricity demand during COVID was increasing. This might have been because those countries were hit by COVID much worse than other countries, and that's why they needed to create hospitals and people were at homes, so the demand was overall increasing. And hence, we thought we could solve this problem, but first had to understand the root cause. And to understand the root cause, we took in effect a tidal lagoon system, and we realized that the tidal lagoon systems all across the world are designed to have much higher efficiency than they currently have. And this is also because the tidal heights that are being measured at these systems are measured at the time of those tides. However, through machine learning, we can predict these much in advance, and this can help make the entire system much more effective and hence help generate more electricity and hence help meet the further demands during and after COVID. So, our target market primarily is countries with electricity demand that is on an increase, And we want to focus on meeting these energy demands during COVID so that these countries can tackle COVID better. And after COVID, then we want to focus on increasing the efficiency of all the other systems all across the world as well. So our proposed solution consists of a machine learning algorithm that we have defined and also a mobile app prototype, which we've defined. Now I'll show you. This is a data set that we've received from the British Oceanographic Data Center. And this talks about the date and the time and the height as well of the tides. So we made a machine learning code using a random forest model. And this random forest model is based on the concept of decision trees. Having had 128 decision trees, we've then trained the model on 80% of our data set and asked it to perform on 20% of the data set, that is the test data set. And as we can see, our algorithm performs up to 93.59% accuracy and has only 0.23 degrees of error, which means that this method that we've employed is actually very efficient in predicting tidal heights, much more efficient than the existing systems, which is using tidal gauges. To also show you our app, fishermen or anybody else who wants to plan their activities according to the tides can use the same algorithm in this way. Using this app, they can enter the app, sign in, find the tidal height, using the current location where they are, using the current date, using the current time, and here they are. They have the tidal height for that time. They also have a summary of the highest and the lowest tide. And this kind of data is very important for fishermen and for other people who are going boating, let's say. They can then save this tidal report as well. And they can also share it with anybody else they want. Coming back to the presentation. The social and market impact that this idea has is huge, but primarily it is threefold. We're increasing the energy produced from existing systems. So we're not creating a whole new system, but we're adding a feature to existing systems. We're also developing a personalized app for fishermen to plan their fishing times, and this is going to help them in plan their entire days and activities. And also we're decreasing the environmental pollution because we're making existing systems more effective. So, to build our team further, we would need cybersecurity specialists, business and operations specialists. As you can see, those are the skills that are lacking from my 3 team members, Arun, myself, and Rohan, who are all developers, software developers. Further on, our implementation plan and timeline is such that we first want to test in a real-life setting. So we want to see if our algorithm would actually work in a whole tidal lagoon, if it will be able to handle the rush and the traffic. We also want to improve our algorithm. We want to consult patent attorneys and see if we're eligible for a patent. And we also want to have licensing conversations with key stakeholders such as the government, because government are the people who own these tidal lagoons. And finally, we would require funding from various sources such as this hackathon, loans from the bank, debt investors, and other investment. And lastly, our future plans are 37.5% of the winnings, that is $1,200 of this hackathon if we were to win, would be used in testing and development, and the other in hiring an extra team, having patent application costs, and having further licensing conversations. Thank you so much for listening and for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. You did it on time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quite a lot.
So first we'll have few questions from the jury.
Okay.
So the first question is mainly about your target customers.
Mm-hmm.
Is it only the government, as you mentioned, or you are thinking about other customers as well?
Well, as I mentioned, actually, most of these big tidal lagoons and systems in countries are mostly owned and funded by the government. So governments would be the key stakeholders. However, if there are any privately owned projects as well, then they will also be our customers, and they will also be the people that we will be pitching to our idea. And also fishermen and other people who would want to download our app from the App Store or the Play Store, and who would want to know about tides and their heights, and then plan their day and activities such as fishing around it, then they will be our customers as well.
Okay. Second question: Do you think you have competitors, and what is their age compared to your solution?
Well, I think competitors are in terms of only research. We've not come across anyone who has had such an idea and have gone to implement it. And this is the case if we just observe from current systems. So there was a Swansea Bay Lagoon project, and they weren't using the system either. So we don't think we have any existing competitors yet, but we think there will be more that will be developing on the way as machine learning or artificial intelligence comes to the forefront.
Okay. And what is the current efficiency of the tidal lagoon? And you proposed to increase it to 90%. What is the current figure?
Let me just clear it out. I'm not saying that the machine learning will increase the efficiency of the tidal lagoon to 90%. I said that the efficiency of my algorithm itself was 90%, which meant that if there are any
prediction, yes.
Yeah, the prediction accuracy is 93.59%, and the current capacity factor of lagoons is 40 to 50% only. And these losses are lots and lots. So they can be transmission losses, they can be losses due to measuring tidal height, and many other reasons. But mine is only about the prediction.
Okay. And what are the number of entries for the testing dataset that you got and used for the algorithm?
Sorry, can you repeat your question, please?
The number of entries for the testing dataset that you used for your algorithm.
I have 140,000 data points, and these data points are from 1st of January 2015 at midnight, all the way up to 2018 end, 31st December 2018, as you can see on my screen.
Okay. And last question, how do you think it will affect the COVID-19? Can you state why and how and why?
Yes, of course. So as I mentioned in my presentation, the main problem that we're trying to solve is that there are a few countries in the world whose electricity demand has increased because of COVID. That may have been because COVID was more hard struck in those countries. It may have been that it earlier did not have enough hospitals or facilities, and they're now having to build those facilities. And that's why they need much more energy and electricity than they have. And hence, we want to use our machine learning code to be implemented into renewable energy systems in their countries and increase the electricity that can be produced from those systems. And that indeed will help those countries tackle COVID-19 better by meeting those electricity and energy demands.
Okay, clear. We have one more question from the jury. How do you think you will get the source of data later, moving forward?
So moving forward,
do you consider it? Yes.
Yeah. I suppose the question is, how is this data set going to grow forward? If that is the question, then the answer is that we would need water height sensors to keep telling us what the actual readings were as well. And these actual readings would be added to the data set, and this data set would keep growing to better our machine learning prediction after each data point. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes. And we have one more question from the jury as well.
Yes.
You mentioned that you want to use this method to increase electricity production.
Yes.
Is this the main source of electricity used? Do you look into the impact of this optimization?
Well, yes, I think this depends country to country. Each country has their own source of energy production and have their own breakdown of how much is produced using tidal lagoons. Obviously, we can use machine learning in various other renewable energy systems, but for the purposes of this hackathon, we only stick to tidal lagoons. Maybe for other countries, we can look into how machine learning can help increase the efficiency of solar, of wind, etc. However, for this one, we've only done tidal lagoon. But yes, in the UK, we have quite a bit of the energy that comes from tidal predictions. Also in countries like India, where you have the surrounding sea as well.
Okay, lots and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thanks all. We will move to the next project.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're moving to the next team. The team is called the COVID Shopper. Are they already in the meeting room? Okay, so apologies. The next team is a sterilization gun from Egypt. I think they're already joined and they're ready to go. So if the team is ready to start, we can go ahead.
So Hassan, we see your screen. Can you start right now?
We go now.
In 2 2020, the world was hit by the highly infectious coronavirus, which passes easily from one person to another through air droplets and after touching contaminated objects. The global pandemic has brought the world to a standstill. This pandemic is taking a heavy toll on healthcare workers around the world, as CDC officials said that 11% of all COVID-19 infections are from healthcare workers. However, they take highly precautionary measurements. The government cannot stand the lockdown and have decided to open the markets gradually to avoid total economic collapse. A tool that reduces the spread of the virus among the public is a vital tool. Sterilization is the first line of defense against the high infectiousness of the recent pandemic and can prevent its transmission. That is why governments have spent billions of dollars on sanitizing almost everywhere. Imagine if you can replace the huge running cost with a portable, affordable device that can sterilize any place with no cost in no time. To introduce the theory, this glass in the video was collapsed when the natural frequency of the glass matched with the frequency emitted from the phone. As the natural frequency depends on the mass of the pathogen, mobile phones cannot reach the range of the frequency needed to destroy the virus. High-frequency ultrasound waves in the range of kilohertz have a great potential to become safe, cheap, easy, portable, and even more effective method to destroy the virus. We have assembled two solutions to emit this sound wave with the desired frequency from a mobile application. The whole technical solution consists of two main parts, the smartphone and the gun. All you need is to connect the gun using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth network, then arm the gun with the required frequency from the mobile application. On the other hand, the gun generates the needed sound wave with the pre-specified frequency, then the pathogen collapses and the subjected area is sterilized. The design of the gun is the aspect of difference between the two solutions. The first solution consists of a Raspberry Pi, USB frequency generator, an ultrasonic transducer, and a battery system. This USB frequency generator can emit up to gigahertz, and it is controlled by the Raspberry Pi, which is connected wirelessly with the mobile application. This system is affordable and more accurate. The second solution consists of a Bluetooth module, microcontroller, ultrasonic transducer, and a battery system. The microcontroller generates the needed sine wave using the PWM method in association with a lookup table. This system costs less than the first solution. The mobile app is the same in both scenarios. You can adjust the emitted frequency manually up to 1 MHz, and you can run a timer for the time required for sterilization. One of the most magnificent features in the mobile app is that it has a table of many pathogens. When you target one of them, the emitted frequency is adjusted to match the natural frequency of the pathogen to achieve resonance and kill the pathogen. I am sure every one of you has passed through multiple advertisements of sterilization units on Facebook, as a new market need has been created in a blink of an eye. New devices are needed to decrease the infectiousness of the virus. Our device is affordable, portable, more efficient with no side effects, 4-meter range, and made for mass production in comparison with the sterilization unit. Our device requires high technology, so our team was collected carefully to cover all the science aspects to create and test this device. Our implementation plan passes through technical, regulatory, and market readiness level. As it is evident here, the device could be produced on the basis of the V model cycle. The first iteration is concerned with the minimum viable product, which will take almost 2 weeks. To reach final product that will be produced and distributed, this will take almost 6 weeks. Getting approval from the Pharmaceutical Affairs Central Administration and Egyptian Drug Authority will be the last step before distributing the device to the public. The seeded fund will be used for the invention phase of the device. Many versions will be created and tested until we reach the intended results. This fund will help us to create the beta version of the device, as we can get approval to use the labs from our potential partner, the Whale City. If we could create this device, surely many organizations will seek to partner with us to supply this device. Life after COVID-19 will not be the same as before it. This device will play an essential role in eliminating various viruses and microbes to help to reduce the spread of illness across the world.
Any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for the pitch. This was really good. Now we have some questions from the jury. Let's start with the first one. Were there any papers or any medical sources that you used to actually validate and approve the method you're using and the frequency? Can you state it?
Okay, Dr. Nahal can answer this.
Yes, there is a lot of literature actually written in the scientific literature reviews of method in the and the last paper published on 2018. Actually, Dr. Hulda Clark since the 90s started using this device for treating the patients from various microbial infections and viruses, but it was not FDA approved as treatment. But a lot of literature was published proving its efficacy up to 99%. Actually, one paper tested it on influenza A virus, and the virus was inactivated by the ultrasonic waves, and only 0.06% of the original number of infective units remaining after 60 minutes of exposure to the ultrasonic waves.
Okay. The next question is on the effect of the EM waves on the health of the user. Are there any negative effects or side effects for the use of this technology?
No, actually, no published side effects, and I have to mention that this technology recently in the literature raised to be used for fighting the cancer. So its effect, there is no, and one paper published that it has no side effects on humans, up to Dr. Hulda using it since 90s in treatment, not in sterilization. This is actually this first, almost the first device using it for sterilization. So no side effects published till now, yeah.
Great. Another question is about, have you tried it already on, let's say, environments or patients or in any scenario with the COVID-19 virus, or have you communicated with any entity to either see their interest or to test this this solution?
Yes, no, we didn't test it yet. But we communicated as we presented in our presentation with potential partners like Zwil City. We already talked to them to use their virology labs to test the virus and test it for on the COVID-19 in specific. It has been the concept was tested before on many viruses and showed high efficacy. But on COVID-19 in specific, not was tested as treatment, not sterilization, by Dr. Hulda, and was written on her website that it showed good results. But for treatment on patients, we are not targeting patients. We are targeting sterilization of the environment around the people.
Okay. This brings us to our next question. As you know, the COVID-19 is a new strain of viruses that were present in the past years, even in 2018. So 2018 data seems a bit outdated, especially that this virus is new with a lot of uncertainties and unknowns. So how do you intend to address this issue?
Excuse me. Yeah, I wanted to hear the question again.
Yes, so the question is that the COVID-19 in itself is a new strain of viruses coming from a strain that already existed in the previous years. And the research that you're using is mainly based on 2018 data at the latest. And there are still very few research or information about the COVID-19 virus in itself. How can you mitigate this lack of information or mitigate the fact that this virus in itself is a new virus that is not yet well known, and this application might not maybe apply to this new virus?
Okay. As I,
Can I
yes,
answer?
this is, yes, okay.
Okay. Okay. So the concept is the same for every virus. So we apply the resonance frequency to the virus. Here in Egypt, we are not allowed to work in the COVID-19 virus. So we will work on a virus similar in size to COVID-19 HCV virus. To test the virus on COVID-19 after we are here in Egypt, we are allowed to test it on HCV virus. We will start by testing it on this virus. If we get a positive result, we will send this device outside Egypt to labs outside Egypt to test it on COVID-19.
Okay.
Sorry, I have an addition that papers published that viruses from the same family, and already it was tested, showed efficacy, and it's the same frequency, almost the same frequency used for inactivation.
Great. Now that you mentioned the frequency, we also have another question about what is the resonance frequency you're using in the model. Could you please repeat that information?
Okay. Resonance frequency, what happens in the resonance frequency is that the system collapses when it is exposed to a frequency that matches its natural frequency. So each organism in the universe has a natural frequency. If you emitted a frequency matching with this natural frequency, this system collapses. That's the resonance frequency.
The question is more on the number. So could you please give us the actual number that you're using, please?
Okay, it's between 300 hertz, 300 kilohertz, and 400 kilohertz. That is the range of frequencies for the family of COVID-19. So we will do multiple tests because this device will range from 1 hertz to 1 megahertz. We will do variable tests on which virus exactly will kill the virus, which frequency exactly will kill the virus.
So the full range is from 1 hertz to 1 megahertz, but the range you're using for the strain of COVID-19 viruses is from 300
between 300
to 400 kilohertz.
Yeah, from 300 to 400 kilohertz.
Perfect. Another question also came in. How would the technology be practically implemented in a centralized location? And what is the need for the mobile app? If the personal use if it's for personal use, then like how will the user use it as a personal sterilizer? So I think the main question is what are the environments in which this solution can be used, and how does it differ from a personal use to, let's say, a centralized or a government use?
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
I can answer this question. This device is meant to be used within different environments like hospitals, restaurants, and other universities and places like that. To be more easy to use, we have defined the interface of the application and the whole solution within a mobile phone. A mobile phone is a friendly interface, has a friendly interface to anyone. So we have developed this friendly user interface mobile application to be gathered with the sterilization gun, which is handled within any human can handle this and use it for sterilization of the closed location where it's located. Also, it can be used within a timing basis. We can set a timer for the sterilization, and it can leave the device within the room or the area to be sterilized, and leave it for the time determined, and come back to use it again within another area and another area and another.
For interruption, but time is ended. Rawan, do you have any other questions? Quick questions?
No, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are going to audio respiratory diseases. The team is here.
You mean Asizo? Unmute? Okay, now I think you can hear me.
Yes.
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 Okay, should I share the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, the screen, yes. Share. Okay. Let me know when I can start.
Okay, could you introduce yourself and the teammates if there?
I don't know if they are here. I'm Vincenzo Intamaro, and do you want to see my ED card? No, and okay. What should I do? Because I don't see nobody on my team here. If you want, I can send them a message.
No. You can start right now, okay?
Okay.
If there are some teammates, okay, so you can introduce themselves.
Okay. Right now, there aren't teammates. There were on the Meet page, but I don't know where they are.
You have to start right now. The 5 minutes starts right now, okay?
Okay. So, welcome everybody. I am Vincenzo Intamaro, and this is our audio respiratory disease prediction project. And our project aims to predict whether an audio breath is affected by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or not, or is healthy. Lorenzo also joined the call. Why? Because the COPD is one of the top 3 death causes by coronavirus, and also because people with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease have greater risk of being infected by coronavirus and have a negative trend. So we have designed this project. This project is all about a classification algorithm that predicts whether a person is affected by COPD or not by just analyzing the audio breath. It works in this in this way. So we have the training and testing phase. They both share the resampling, EU normalization, and blind source separation. For the training phase, we have the data augmentation and the training of our model, which is OCO-ResNet, which means auditory cortex ResNet, which is a model we will publish about. And for the testing phase, we have the audio segmentation, which understand, when to start analyzing the breath cycle. It's important because people may talk first. And then use the previously trained model to predict whether the person has a COPD or not. So it's important to make attention to the interpatient separation scheme, because differently from other papers which use the 70-30 separation scheme, it's important when we came to computer-aided diagnosis tools like this to use the original test set, and which means to use the interpatient separation scheme. With this separation scheme, we hit the 95% of accuracy on COPD prediction, which is mainly the state of the art. The 91% of coverage for the segmentation technique, as you can see on the right. We developed a working demo, and you can go just right now on the address here and click and test it by yourself. This is important because it could be used right now by millions of people. So the impact is that we will help over 250 million people with the COPD and potentially reduce the cost of hospitalization by 41%. And we will use the price with 75% for company establishment cost, and the resulting 25% for cloud. What about fundraising? We already have customers, hospitals, that are waiting for our solution and key partnership to penetrate the market. At the moment, we don't want early stage VCs because we don't want to lose control of the company. And I will explain you why. This is the project. So I'm Vincenzo Intamaro, startup veteran, PhD student at the University of Bari in deep learning. I'm the CTO of Next to Me, an award-winning startup. I got graduated in Georgia Tech in USA, won the first innovator of Busan, MIT Technology Review. Lorenzo is our front-end developer and also another startup veteran, CEO of Zepend, another award-winning startup and focused on business growth. And with Antonio Tamaro has a bachelor degree in sports and medical activities. So this prediction project will be integrated into a complete platform already part of Y Combinator Startup School. And that's because the World Health Organization had a declaration to develop an alternative delivery platform for essential health services and who boost home hospitalization program. And that's why we want to answer this need with a complete platform to detect patients at risk in time, screening the whole population and monitor people. And we do that in this way. We already have this audio respiratory disease project. Plus, we are adding a heartbeat classification to detect arrhythmias and atrial fibrillation. We have also medically proven algorithm to process data and the possibility to share database with hospitals and medical doctors. For the atrial fibrillation detection, we hit 92% always in the interpatient separation scheme. And this is our working example, as you can see, for the various classes of the heartbeats. So the take home is that we are developing a complete platform to detect respiratory disease from breath audio, early heart disease detection, analysis of various other parameters like oxygenation, respiratory rate, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. Thank you, and stay safe. So I'm ready for questions.
Okay, thank you, Vincenzo. I have many questions.
Sure.
First question is, do you have any expert in the medical field in your team?
Yes, there are. Actually, there is with Antonio Tamaro, which has expertise in medical activities and more related to sports. But we have also medical doctors, a medical doctor that we ask them for partnership. It's not in the working team right now, but it's part of the team as consultant.
Second question, how long has the team been working on this project?
Okay, we started. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking. Oh, this is my field. So pattern recognition is my field. I publish on IEEE right now from 2015 now. And, it's important to bring things to the market, I think, because I've invented in 2017 a technology for heartbeat classification, and then we brought this technology to commercializing it. And right now we want also to bring this kind of auditory respiratory disease project into the same application. So yes, we have several years of experience on this. Also because I have another startup which does indoor positioning, but we work in hospitals.
Have you tested this with the COVID patients already?
Please. So is it related if we are using data from COVID?
No. Have you tested it with COVID patients already?
No. To be honest, no. We have tested it we have the data came from a trusty data set that was published on Springer, and we have tested the data on the test set provided with the data itself. So, to be honest, the state of the art on that data set is 83% accuracy with the interpatient separation scheme, and with the same interpatient separation scheme and the same test set, which is very important, we have the 95% accuracy.
Talking about the market, have you done any market sounding on hospital interested in this device? And if yes, can you share some results with us?
Actually, we have 2 hospitals which are interested. I'm interested. They want to buy our devices. We have the devices are being certified because in Europe we have a big list of certification. It's not only required the FCC and CE in Europe, but we need also the EMC, which is another certification for class 2 for medical devices. So it's a long, trip to complete. But once this trip will complete, our devices will be deployed in the hospitals for 2 reasons. First, because I have already some contacts in hospitals, because I already provide with my first startup the products to hospitals. And second, because there is a need. Now hospitals need people to perform the majority of the tasks remotely. So like managing to monitor their health remotely or share their health remotely. Our project allows to perform ECG analysis and then share it in addition to the audio respiratory. Mm-hmm. So you imagine you can breath and send your breath or send the result of your breath, but also share the ECG, classify the ECG, where the machine answer beat per beat, what is the class of that beat? It's an atrial fibrillation beat. It's a supraventricular ectopy beat. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question: how will $1,200 help you in this project?
Thank you for the question. In Italy, there are very few, to be honest. They will partially be used for establishment costs of this new company, and the few more euros that will be saved will be used for servers, so for computational server. Now the algorithm is running on a $5 server, to be honest, but it's still working.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have 2 minutes extra. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
How long would it take to get this product ready and approved? And do you have any patent for your solution?
Okay, first question. In June, we think to finish the certification, especially, for the CE and FCC certification. For the medical certification is a bit longer, and nobody knows anything about that. It will take about 3 months to get this the certification successfully and to file all the documentation. So once we have it's not a software problem, because we already have the app developed. We are developing right now the platform, which will be completed in June, the same, but it's more about the certification of the device. And that's the problem with the medical stuff. And the second, to answer the second question, I'm a public researcher, apart from my startups. So we don't plan. I have 3 IPs, and actually I spent a lot of money for them. I don't like the idea to patent those kind of things. I will be honest, because I want to be honest with you. If I patent this kind of thing, I'm blocking the research. I want instead to publish these findings. I've developed the AUCO ResNet, which is an auditory cortex ResNet. It's a network that allows to process raw audio signal without doing Mel spectrogram, fast Fourier transform, and so on. No, you just feed the audio and it predicts. It's amazing. And why should I keep this technology for me? Apart from that, in Europe, we cannot patent the algorithm, and the mathematical stuff, the software and the algorithm could not be patented in Europe. In the United States, yes.
Okay.
So I want to provide, for me, the research should be public.
Because we are out of time.
Sorry.
What do you mean by company establishment?
Oh, to pay for the costs. Oh, in Italy, we have a company, the cost for establishment of the company. So it's not buy a building, but it's pay for, the lawyer that will sign the papers. That's it. And it costs a lot.
Okay, the last question. What kind of medical parameters cough can indicate to detect all of these symptoms?
Okay, what kind of medical parameters? Sorry, say again, please.
Cough can indicate to detect all of these symptoms.
No, those symptoms are not kept from the cough. For the breath analysis, we understand if you have the COPD or not, because it seeks for crackles and whistles in the audio breath. And then for the heart disease prediction, it's analyzed. We analyze it through the ECG. So our bracelet does the ECG, and our algorithms analyzes the ECG and predicts what kind of disease you have by analyzing beat per beat. And then also the bracelet does other things like oxygenation, respiratory rate. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vincenzo, and have a nice day.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Bye.
Yes, I am here. Azizo is here. So should I start the presentation?
Start with introducing yourself and your teammates.
Yes. Yes. 1 second. Can you give the jury a couple of minutes, and then we can start?
So, firstly, presentation or what? I don't understand right now. Sorry.
No, I mean just wait for 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. I will wait.
Okay. Thank you.
In the meantime, you can share the screen with us. Are you ready?
I'm sorry, I have quickly to restart the meeting because I had to access the screen to make the presentation. I will shortly join again.
If there's anyone here from 1-28 balance saver team?
Sorry, I wanted to ask, Medilink is presenting after the current team?
Yes, do you see the presentation?
Again?
Medilink, is it presenting after the current team?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we see the presentation. Okay.
Can I start, or do I have to wait?
I think you can start.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everybody. Thank you for having us. We are Azizo, the first feasible COVID-19 test and trace network. So we deal with the problem that is one of the most important in the crisis, which is testing on the one hand, extensive testing, and tracing of contacts. and back tracing of infection chains. So the problem with the current contact tracing apps is they cause reasonable privacy concerns, as personal data is posted, also locational data, to a central server entity.
Is there anyone here from Troubadour?
And the other problem is that current testing value chain is not combined with contact tracing, and testing is not done at the most vulnerable points. So the limits are already reached for the labs and for the testing labs, but we don't test at the right places. So there's a very interesting article on that in the conversation.com. Our solution is a privacy-preserving blockchain network, permission blockchain network, which is connecting all relevant stakeholders, the government, healthcare facilities, test labs, and insurances, coupled with a health identification app for each citizen with an AI-based risk assessment based on reinforcement learning and for test rollouts and contact tracing. And additionally, access to personal data is governed by a smart contract only in case of an infection or direct contact through the contact tracing app with an infected person. So no one owns any personal data. Only a smart contract grants access to the entity which is responsible in case of an infection or direct contact. So what you see here is the health identification app which each citizen is provided. So for instance, a government could send a letter with a QR code for acquiring this application and logging in. And each citizen can make a screening for preconditions and symptoms and chat with a personal AI chatbot, which we currently implemented with IBM Watson. And he can trace his appointments for testing, direct people contacts, and public places visited through different sensors. For instance, Bluetooth proximity tracing, or also sound beacons. So this means that we can acquire sounds of public places and identify if a person was in this place. So based on this, a reinforcement learning AI based on deterministic policy gradients can predict the risk of the specific health ID, which is firstly decoupled from the personal data, and only if the threshold of the risk, which is based on contacts or the testing results, will determine if the personal data is accessible by the government, and the government and the responsible entities can contact the specific person in order to take further measures and protect his health. So the market impact of this whole blockchain solution is huge. It allows efficient integrated testing and tracing at the most vulnerable points based on the risk assessment, whilst keeping the capacity limits of the labs. And additionally, gradually decreasing the lockdown, which is currently present, and causing high impacts on the economy by providing a health certification through this ID. So people with negative test results can still go to school, to university, or to their workplace, whilst people who are at higher risk can be isolated and helped in health by the healthcare system. So additionally, it is also always a problem when privacy is preserved. The data might not be valuable for research institutes because data is not like the most important information might be left out, and this represents a perfect trade-off between valuable research data and privacy preservance, because the data is anonymized and fully usable by research facilities, but only privacy is affected if the person has an infection or direct contact with infected people. So quickly, introduction of the founding team. So one is Valentina Yassari, who's a law student and focused on legal tech and blockchain research, so legal applications of blockchain. And I am Tin Sriborzon. I'm a Master of Science student in machine learning in the last semester, and I've worked 2 years in the IBM blockchain laboratory for different blockchain projects. Right now, we have an implementation of a working prototype in very short time. So at the beginning of this hackathon, we started the project like a few weeks ago, and right now we already have a few working concepts with a prototype in a React app for the Health ID, and a feasible blockchain network based on Hyperledger Fabric, and a deep reinforcement learning algorithm based on deterministic policy gradients in order to assess the risk of the specific citizen. And with IBM Watson, we have a chatbot which can assist the person through the ID app and throughout the pandemic. And by the end of June, we plan to have an MVP live beta of our open source project and incorporate and digitalize the full testing value chain. So in the long term, we want to establish a large-scale open source project. For what you currently also observe is that there's a problem and a discrepancy between different healthcare systems, and data is not shared cross-border. So we have huge differences of the pandemic, and due to the lack of information sharing and a feasible model of information sharing of research data, of healthcare records, and cross-border research, like for instance, intensive care units, which could be shared over a cross-border blockchain network. So in the long term, this could be an open source project which might cope with this problem. We also have had contact with one testing lab in Germany and our university, and they all think this might be the only feasible solution to incorporate the cross-border harmonization of healthcare systems in a digital way. So we currently have a plan on low budget because we don't have a seed investment or stuff like that yet, because we are we also want to be an open source project because we believe the only way to deal with such problems is an open source community, and we want to with a low budget as possible. So for the seed, which is in this hackathon, we plan to create a project landing team page and maybe find new people who might help us and get the right equipment and establish connections with different stakeholders, which might be important, like for instance testing labs, healthcare facilities, and governmental entities. Firstly in Europe, and then we want to extend this. So our future plan is to have a patient health ID, a digitalized patient health ID, to share cross-border information beyond the pandemic. So, if we have a health assistant for each patient, we might predict pandemics much earlier, and we might get faster and better results and optimize the healthcare systems worldwide. Also in areas where the healthcare system is not as good as in other countries, countries with a better healthcare system might help through the information and resource sharing countries with less healthcare system, with a lower healthcare system. So thank you everybody, and all the people who are right now in Ramadan. I wish a very healthy and peaceful Ramadan, and I'm ready for your questions.
Okay, thank you, Tim. So first question, do you have any plans to partner with any other organization, and do you need an approval from the government?
Yes, surely. The project is very young, so we have a feasible prototype, and we have the technology is good, but we need more contact to the external world. So we need to have a landing page. We need to have a serious point of contact to entities. We already have contact to our university, who is also a University of Tübingen, which is very established in the healthcare system and healthcare research, and the medical informatics staff is assisting us right now. We have the first point of contact already with them, and they're very interested. And through them and through other entities, we want to also contact in the future. We want to establish a larger network. We also want to participate in the Call for Code hackathon, which has as a prize that the Linux Foundation might help in the realization of the project.
Who will be target customers to validate the usage of the system?
Yes. So in the first step, we could validate the system in a very small scale. So we might not start with the government, but for instance, with companies who want to keep up personal contact and working at risky areas. So for instance, doctors in healthcare facilities might participate in the network and trace the contacts between them and or people who have to work like at very for instance in Germany, and we have much infections in places where meat is produced or where food is produced, and on these places we could start and provide every employee, not citizen, every employee with such an app to trace the contacts and to see if they infect each other and how the infection chains work and if they and assess their testing results. So there's no automated way to assess and assess testing results. And right now it's that the testing facilities just wait for first in, first out people who think they might have symptoms, and it might be the completely wrong people who go there, and the risky points of failure might be completely not considered because the capacity of the labs is not enough.
Okay. If you want to implement it in Germany, I think every person in Germany has health insurance and health ID system, something like that. Is there any need for a single or harmonized health ID system across borders, not only in Germany?
Yes,
because not every country has a mandatory health insurance and that system.
Yes, right, that's true. So we believe that this might be a way for establishing such things more easily in countries where it's not provided yet. It does not need necessarily insurance, but also just the data to inform the country about the health state of their citizens without every privacy risk. So this is also a very important fact. In the next step, this could be a way to establish an insurance there, and that private insurances might firstly participate in the network, and that they have already an infrastructure provided by an open source foundation, which is managed by a blockchain network. And this is the thing we want to tackle. Not like in Germany, the healthcare system works very well. We have seen it in the pandemic, for the pandemic, but in neighboring countries already, like which you thought that they might have a good healthcare system, they really pushed this pandemic really pushed the healthcare system beyond the limits. And we think that cross-border, for instance, patient data sharing and for instance, intensive care unit sharing, because Germany, when France and Italy already had a very bad condition, Germany still had very much capacity in their ICU, in their intensive care units, but there was no way to share the patients and the patient data and cross-border. So this is, we believe that harmonization and cross-border sharing might help with that.
Being an open source project, how do you plan to protect your work and what is your plan to make your project sustainable?
So we believe that this has to be an open source project, which lives from the interest of a consortia. So this is why we want a blockchain network to be part of it, a permission blockchain network. That we believe entities that want to partner and can have like a partner place. And this principle works similar to the Hyperledger project. And when you see the Hyperledger project, there's IBM, there's SAP, and they all provide resources and information and keep the project going in their own interests. So we believe that a healthcare facility, healthcare institutions, healthcare organizations, governmental organizations, and additionally insurance organizations might have a huge interest in a harmonized digital system, because already in Germany there's a problem, I have to say, between hospitals to share the data. Even though we have a good healthcare systems, the hospitals don't have the same system where they interact with each other. So this is already a problem. How is it then cross-border? And there is the huge need for a shared data model and a shared assessment of patient data in order to provide the resources at the right point of time and the right place.
Related to the open source, did you check legal impact of having electronic medical records on open source platform?
Yes, right. And we have checked it, and this is why we have dealt with. So we've seen in this case that there has to be some trade-off between personal data and valuable data. So we need to trace the infection chains. And in Germany, generally, people say also Germany tends to be a very free country, but people say, okay, I am ready to limit my freedom and to limit my personal rights of my information in order to help the healthcare system. And this is very important because otherwise we can't deal with this pandemic. And we have different, like the lockdown, which is even further. So in an open source project, we believe that the data should not be owned by anybody, but there are decentralized databases which are stored off-chain, and no one can access it without the smart contract. So the entities might sign smart contracts which regulate the access to it. So nobody can can own the data, but the data is in a single point of truth. The access to the data is on a single point, on a hash. So this is done by the technical means with, if you know, zero knowledge proofs. So
okay.
We
only have 1 minute, so
yeah.
Continue with other questions as well. Do you have any demo or your idea?
Yes, and you can check the GitHub, and you can start the network on your own with BRYFNSH app. And you can run by React Native apps to see how it is working.
Okay.
So there's
do you have any kind of market research?
Yes, we have research. There are two projects.
Did you join the Zoom?
There are two research projects right now in Germany and EU, which are not seen as feasible, and the adoption might fail of tracing the context. But in order to so we believe that there's actually no project which incorporates both testing and tracing in one harmonized application. And there are some ideas, but there's no feasible application of it yet, and we need to act fast. So right now we want to establish the idea of it through different hackathons and get in contact with our university and so on and so on.
Okay. How will you spend the $1,200?
Yes, the $1,200, they will be part of the first rollout. So we want to have a serious landing page to get the idea to the point. So we had a very short time, and so if you already seen, I'm not a business guy. So we need more input, more help. I already have contact with a person who is interested and who might more the marketing approach to explain the idea more to people. And we want to extend the team to establish a real project landing page with web page, and to have access to one node, to one Kubernetes node, in order to run already one single node on a cloud for the blockchain network, to have the first node to test established, and to publish the application to Apple Store and the developer program and to Android.
Okay, last question. Have you looked into integrating this system with existing healthcare system rather than create a new one from scratch?
Yes, right. We don't create a new system from scratch. We want to have, like, this is an interface where people can share can sign government contracts on how to share the data and information. The external systems, these are off-chain systems. Also, the personal data systems are off-chain systems, which are only the blockchain only governs the access to this information. So the entities provide the information only in cases of certain policies which are agreed upon in the blockchain network. So this is not.
Thank you, Tim. And yes, because we should move to another project. Yes. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next project, I think Salah is back. So Salah, can you talk to test the connection? Salah, can you hear me? No, we cannot.
Okay, do you now hear me? Do you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I will share the screen with you.
You hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, so my project.
The camera because it may affect the connection, so we can hear only.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you're doing well and hope you're having a good Ramadan. So after the unexpected spread of COVID-19, many third world countries could not apply a full lockdown simply because people really have to go out to obtain essential goods, which cost them effort and makes them an easy target for the virus. And I'm going to show you how. Now you can go to the second page. Second page, please. Okay. So the problem is, as you can see, this is the problem before using the app. Let's say I want to buy some clean products, so I will have to go I have to visit all these stores in order to find, and maybe in the first 3 stores I won't find anything, so I will have to go to another store, which will make me an easy target to get the virus and spread it even more. As you can see, if I get it in the first store, I will spread it in the other stores. So it will be really dangerous to spread the virus. So to solve that, my app, you can go to the third page, please. So to solve that, my app shows the local stores to the user. So he will just have to search for the item he wants, and he will get the stores that has the item. So in this case, I will directly go to this store, get what I need, and come back. And even if I catch the virus, I won't spread it that much. I will just go there and come back home. I won't go anywhere else. So it will help stop spreading the virus. Can you go to the third page? So for the impact for using such app, it has the impact on the clients, the buyers, and the business owners. So briefly, for the clients, it shows them the stores and the items that they have. Also for the business owners, it helps them to show their stores in the map for their clients and help them to be an easy way to attract clients. So if they have special items or goods that the other stores doesn't have. Also, this app helps decreasing the spread of COVID-19. Also provides a good substitute to online shopping for third world countries, and creates a good challenge for businesses to improve their services and prices to attract more clients. Fourth page, please. So for the founding team, right now I'm the only member of the team. I made everything on this app. I built it from scratch, and for future I will try to get a full stack team that has a front end developers and Android and iOS developers, web security engineers and backend developers. So we will all try to complete each other and make a full stack team to make the app be ready for usage. Fourth page, next page. So for the implementation plan, first, when I get a full stack team, as I mentioned before, I will try to finish the app, produce the app for the Android and iOS, and then introduce the app for some store owners, for some specific store owners who will use this app with their clients, and then we get the feedback from them. So we use this feedback to improve the app, and then we try to introduce the app to more stores that have bigger client base, and then we try to release the app on mobile stores, and then we will try to invest on advertising, and after all, the app should be ready to make shopping easier and modern in the third world countries. Next page. So for the budget, first we will try to upgrade the Firebase and Google Cloud accounts to get the full access to their features and APIs. And also we try to invest in buying a domain and a hosting for the web version of the app. Also, we try to get the developer account of Google Play and Apple Store in order to publish the app there. Also, we invest some money for advertising in Facebook and social medias. Also, we will try to use Google AdSense and donations as an active income for the app in the future. Also, we will try to invest a part of the proposed seed fund in the app development for some unexpected expenses or something. Next page. So for the future plan, after we finish the app, we will try to I will try to add more developers to the team, and also make the app open source. It is already open source, but I'll try to get more collaborators to review the app. Also get reviewers from experts, so we can fix bugs and add more ideas. Also for the team, as I mentioned before, I will try to get a full stack team to extend the stack and experience and make the development faster. Also have a full stack team to finish the app in a perfect way. So now, thank you. I think I'm ready for questions.
Okay, thank you, Salahuddin. So the first question we have, what is the advantage of your application versus other similar applications, like online shopping or delivery or online ordering applications?
Well, the advantage is that this app can be used in third world countries, in countries that don't have online shopping. For example, in my country, we don't have any online shopping services. Maybe we have, but they are not so efficient and maybe never used. So this app provides like ordinary shopping, but with a modern way. So it shows you the stores, the local stores that you can go to, and it shows you the items that they have. So you will just choose wisely from which store you want to go to buy from. So that's why I think my app has an advantage to be used in third world countries, for example, in my country.
Okay. And second question, how you will manage that the business owners will update their stock level and items on the app?
Yeah, business owners can already update anything at any time. They can add or delete or just change the amount of the quantity of the items and the price at any time. They can they can do this at any time.
Okay. And you mentioned that you will find developers to add them to strengthen your team.
Yes.
Apart from the developers, do you plan to incorporate other profiles rather than technical developers?
Maybe in the future, if the app gets more relevant and used a lot, so I will need maybe, I don't know, maybe some
financial experts or something like that, you know, or some support team.
Okay. And you mentioned that you will put the app as open source. So how do you think you will make it sustainable for business?
I will make it open source in the development phase, so we can get more ideas, and also to fix some bugs. Maybe some other developers notice some bugs, and so we can fix them. Also to get more collaborators, and maybe open the way for other expert developers to join our team. So that's why I think maybe after the app production, the app won't be fully open source. Maybe depends on the app.
Okay, and did you mentioned mainly in the app is targeting the certain world countries, and I need to know if you did a survey or a market survey for business owners who can benefit from your idea.
Yeah, as I mentioned. As I mentioned before, I said in the implementation plan, I will first introduce the app to some specific business owners who will test the app with their clients and give us the feedback. And then we will use this feedback to improve the app more, so it will suit them in the perfect way.
Okay. So on behalf of the committee, we would like to thank you for the efforts, and you know, you did it all alone, and hopefully you will, in the next stages, you will be having more team members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks a lot, Salah. Thanks for the
Yeah, also thanks for giving me a second chance.
That's your right.
Yeah.
It's not your problem of technical issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing is measuring up.
I can leave now?
Yes.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Is Media Link Up team is here?
Hello? We're here. We're not all here yet.
Okay. The presenter?
What?
The presenter?
Yeah. Yes, we do. We just 2 seconds.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yes. Good, are you here?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Who's going to...
I will be the one presenting. So our slides are there.
So, yes, we can see.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So we are MediLink Up, and my name is Golda Fania. I have a public health background. And MediLink Up is a e-health system for detection and diagnosis of diseases. Next slide. So the problem that we found is that across the African continent, there's poor health information systems have been identified as a major challenge. And this is mostly because Africa is predicted as one of the slowest growing continents in terms of implementation of electronic medical records. And weak health information systems are critical in order to reach health-related millennial development goals, because this information will be used. We found that fewer than 50% of Africans have access to quality health care. And for those who have access, 42% report difficulty obtaining needed care. This lack of high quality information often leads to lesser quality and inefficient patient care. Our solution is a simple, user-friendly, and cost-effective software to assist African medical and healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses, community health workers, laboratory technicians to manage disease cases and analyze data in order to provide quality patient care. So how it works, it's the patients come into the doctors, and then they can do data collection, collecting data on patient history and symptoms, and also any diagnosis that the doctor may have in the current time. Then the system itself will do data cleaning and analysis, and then it can provide prediction and classification of the specific disease based on a dashboard output. The output, we have made a demo, and this is our demo link. Doctors will be able to just click and then add information. And then once, it's going to be very easy, as we said, and user-friendly, so they can just click in the information quickly, and then it will bring an output page for patient results, as you can see here. In terms of the COVID situation, we have made it so that the doctor will also be able to follow up on the number of cases. And then also it would be very, very clear for the doctor what they have recommended and where the patient's current patient is classified compared to other patients that have come in from the specific city. So the market impact, we are thinking to collaborate with another health institute, with the ERM.
Hello, Gorda.
Hello, Builder, we can't hear you.
Hello, Gorda. Oh, okay. May I take over then? Okay.
Yes, please, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Great.
So in terms of with healthcare providers who will be our main users of the systems, it will be easy for them to exchange healthcare information, especially amongst many authorized users in different healthcare systems. So one is the fact that the doctors and the nurses can input data, but also it will be available for decision making when they're sitting with boards or on a national level in terms of the healthcare ministry. For patients who are unable to travel long distances, who are not located close to medical facility, also benefit because the creation of the system will allow them to also stay in contact with their medical provider through their mobile devices. Right now, our team is composed of a data scientist, and then software developer, and a public health specialist and a business development person. In terms of implementation plan, we are planning right now. We started working on the MVP already from April onward, and then by June we hope to have a complete working prototype, and currently also in contact with several different partners and people, healthcare providers, to see if they will be interested, if this is feasible, if this is something they can use. We have spoken to a few in South Africa, in Nigeria, and in Sierra Leone, and in Kenya. And they all have given quite positive feedback. So once we secure a partnership, we can do product testing and market penetration. And then based on that, the funding and investment so that full scale will start to roll out by January 2021. In terms of the $1,200 US dollars, we have decided to focus it on domain and hosting, promotions and marketing, testing of devices, and internet connectivity, and traveling in terms of the people who are going to go to these various places to onboard and implement the software.
Hi, Golda. Your time for pitching has come to an end. We have passed the 5-minute mark.
Okay.
So I will invite judges for questions. I have a question already. So you're proposing an EMR solution because you said the problem is that there are no electronic record management systems in Africa. My question is, what is the innovation you're looking to bring in? Because in terms of solutions, there are plenty that are off the shelf. Why do you believe your solution will work?
Okay, answering that, my name is Benny, the software development guy. The innovation that we are bringing here is that what we have noticed, because we have, as Golda has mentioned, that we have engaged with a couple of hospitals across Africa, in Africa, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, and when we ask them the current system that they are using in these hospitals, they are still more on the records that they are keeping. They are not digitalized yet. It's still paper record storage. So, and also in terms of what we are doing is that we want to use these records not just to be digital records, but to use this data using machine learning to be able to, when the patient comes during times like this, be able to categorize whether or not this patient is at high risk or it's normal or a severe case in terms of such breakouts when the breakouts and pandemics they happen. So if we have this data, not only just to be a on-shelf system that keeps records, but also to utilize this very same record to be able to assist in when such times like this COVID-19 they happen, to help with prediction and diagnosis.
Okay.
Okay, I can.
Another question that, sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so another question from the judge here is, what is your business model, and also what is your plan for scaling up to your customer base?
Okay, our business model, we are looking at the subscription type of model, whereby if we looking at putting this system in, let's say, an example, in a public health, we know, and let's say surgeries or private hospital, we know that per number of requests that that institution will use to access our data, we can therefore give them a package that
is there anyone here from virtual classroom team or home health care?
Sorry, excuse me, there is a bit of noise. Can we please have the team that is presenting speak? The others, please go on mute.
Oh, okay. I was saying that we are looking at a subscription model whereby we can give each institution or hospital or a public hospital or surgery a subscription or saying that if you are going to access our platform to do this assessment and analysis for, let's say, 1,000 requests in a month, it will cost you this much. And if it's going to be, let's say, a research institution like your national health laboratories, if they're going to do 5,000 requests per month, and therefore we give them a specific subscription. So that's our business model.
Okay, thank you. I would ask whoever is running the slide just to go back to the slide that showed your budget utilization. And while you're doing that, you mentioned that you're looking at connecting with some partners. Do you have more information on who the proposed partners are, considering you're looking at going continent-wide?
Well, excuse me.
Yes, you can answer that, Gaba.
Yeah, I can respond to that. Now we also identify some partner, for example, Africa Disaster Center, and some hospital in Ghana and in Kenya or Nigeria, Nigeria and Sierra Leone. The first idea of what we want to do, we want to also implement and a small locally our solution, and after we can see if you can extension in cross African country.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Any other questions from the judges? Okay, thank you very much, team. I think we have it clear. We can have the next team come online. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next team is called Palencia.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then I start showing the presentation. Okay. Can you see it?
We see it. Could you please maximize it? Yes, thank you. And you can begin now.
So, do you hear me now? Better?
We hear you well.
Better? Okay, perfect. Okay. So, for many several weeks, million people are in home office to slow down the spreading of the COVID-19 and avoid our medical system to collapse. COVID-19 is not just a question about life and death. It's also about the functioning of our economy and our mental and social well-being. By moving to in remote mode working, the boundary between work and life vanished. Then we stay long time working at home alone. We have a mental imbalance and unbalanced lifestyle. We have to stop hobbies, social interaction, job events, work public relations, and our job became unproductive in remote mode. Then the solution for us was to create a platform that can help to structure your day effectively, provide suggestions on what to do during the break and free time, and display a work-life balance score. This is really important. With Balance here, you can generate a structure for the day, boost your efficiency, avoid long time working hours, and select diverse activities for your break and food. Every user can also suggest ideas and share with their colleagues and friends. We have created a prototype. We have a GitHub repository to see the code that we have created for now. I show you the prototype. I try to show you in the right way. Okay. You can sign in and sign up. If you don't have, it's the first time that you have here, you have to sign up. Then sign in the app. You can also connect with your social networking and you enter in the application. Here you have what happens soon, some events and some trends. Then you can view your schedule, edit the schedule. Obviously now you haven't created. Then we created our day. You can see the start of the day, wake up, and the expected work time. This is important. Then you can create more than one break, blockers for really important meetings that you don't want to be disturbed, and the sleep task. We select the activities. For example, we have here some category of the activity. The users can add new categories. Then, for example, I create start fit, and we have a selection and another filter for activities less than 60 minutes. You can, for example, share with your friends, make the favorites. If you share with your friends, you can invite them by email or in the list of the members. Then you add your activity. You have your work day schedule, and here is the workout. You can also remove it, share your work day, for example, by email or with the members, and then you can start your day. Here you have the time. Now is fake, obviously, because it's a prototype, and it shows you the next break, and you see where are you in your schedule. Then you can see the check score. Then you can understand how many % you have of your work you have done and your free time. So you can understand if your balance is correct or not, if you work enough, if you were too much relaxed and productive. Okay, then we come back to the presentation.
You have about 30 seconds to go, please.
Sorry?
30 seconds for your presentation.
You can see it. You can see the presentation now.
Yes, we can see it, but I'm saying wind up. We have 30 seconds.
I don't understand. Can you write?
30 seconds left. Okay.
You can see now.
But 30 seconds is left. Okay.
Oh, there is a message here.
Are you finished? Are you finished?
No, I have not finished. Sorry, it passed the time. Okay, I would like to show what we have improved, and the team. This is the team: front-end analyst, full stack, and I'm the UX UI designer. The implementation by the launch, the marketing, and the development steps. Then we have the budget. We have done a one-page business plan. The Lean Canvas. It's a method to create a business plan. And
okay,
the fundraising
thank
plan.
you, Francesca. Thank you very much. I will now present you with the questions from the judges. So one question is, what is your advantage of your application compared to other similar wellness applications in the market?
Okay. Our plus are the score, because we created something that can count the. There are not exactly similar applications, because there is something for the workday, but not something that counts the hours and creates the balance between the private and the work time. And the future plan is to create app partners like Google Calendar, I call an Outlook calendar, and to create in the third year, for example, a plugin that they can add just in your application. Our platform for the users is completely free. All the stakeholders, like, for example, gym class or yoga class or seminar, museum that want to have their content connected to our platform, they can be inside us. And this is the big plus between us and the other applications.
And one question here, which are your competitors from your analysis?
Yes, we have, honestly, there is not an exactly competitor, because anyone is doing exactly what we are doing. There are similar apps, but every app is just for the calendar, not for the activities.
Okay. And did you conduct any market survey before you undertook your project?
We have done a research about the content that we have to put inside. So every pattern that we can have. About the marketing, I have searched, I have created also all the visual communication of what you are seeing. And honestly, we have searched a little bit about which is the horizontal area and vertical area in the market. In the vertical area, there are the calendars, and in the horizontal area, there are all the organizers about time and all the organizers. This is a kind of what we have done until now.
Okay, thank you. One question, just to go back to the slide about the budget that you shared on the screen. Just go back. That's
here.
Okay. Just hold it here. So you're aware that the prize money from the hackathon is $1,200. How would you plan to spend the $1,200?
Okay, for the domain and the development, we have just we don't have fixed cost. We have just the domain at the beginning and the marketing cost, the setup of marketing. Because if we create the launch, I'm going to the previous slide. We have to create the video teaser and launch the platform. In our plan, that is here, the launch will be on June, August, and this is the most, all the money are here. Then we starting to see some results in October when we have also the partners, because the income, it's here. We have the revenue for partners. That can be, for example, $15, and the income per downloaded plugin. At the beginning, the traffic will be in the platform, and then in the third year, it became something that is downloaded.
Okay, thank you, Francesca. We completed the time for your team. Thank you very much, and good luck. We could have the next team. Thank you.
John, this is Swapin. I'd just like to add one point if I'm allowed to.
Yes. There is also my team members that want to answer to some questions.
So, John, back to your question regarding the fundraiser, we'd like to use it as a part of the Kickstarter so that we raise more funds, because $1,200 really is not that much. So we have to more revenue, and one of the ways to do that is raising fundraiser via Kickstarter or something else. So that's also one of the plans that we would be doing in future.
Okay, now that you just brought in one judge has a question, is how do you intend to expedite your market entry and maintain your competitiveness thereafter?
So basically, we have to work with our partners that includes yoga, and Zumba scene, which are around the Europe and US. That is the main thing. We have to get onboarded with them, ask their needs, what they can do, because people, when they are, online, they have to do something like Zumba, art classes or things like that. So again, for market penetration, we have to talk to them, get them onboarded. That serves as a revenue as well as penetration.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim. We have gone over your time, so all the best and keep well.
Thank you. I stop sharing, I suppose.
Yes, please. So the next team is Trova.do.
Yes, we're here.
Hi.
Okay. Okay. Is my screen visible for everyone?
Yeah, it worked for me.
Okay, so should I start?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. We are Trova.do. If you've ever struggled with being able to find a product that you wanted to buy in a supermarket and you had to go to another supermarket because you couldn't find them in any of them, wasting your time and being exposed to high-risk areas, then this is for you. We've identified a couple of problems in the shopping experience, such as sold-out items in store and online, knowing that the majority of people that go to a supermarket and pharmacy have no personal protective equipment, making these places high-risk infection areas, plus the lack of delivery in online shopping and small businesses facing economic crisis. That's why we built Trova.do. Trova.do is a platform that provides optimized visits to shops and pharmacies. You can find what you need near your home, plan ahead your visit while booking a time slot, save time, shop safely, and support your local shop. So how do we do this? Okay, so let's say I want to find a shop near my home that offers pasta and rice. So as you can see, this shop has general stock levels high, and we can see that rice and pasta are actually available. So we go ahead and book our time slot. Let's say I want to go at 6 p.m. today, and I book my time slot. So this way I would be sure that at 6 p.m., if I go to the shop, I can find pasta and rice to make dinner. Okay, so we know we've just started, but we know that there's a space for us in the market, since we're bits of Google Maps, Uber Eats, and Amazon, which bring millions of monthly unique users. Plus, during the first quarter of 2020, many supermarkets have seen a 30% increase in sales. And we're talking about a market size of trillions of dollars. So this is a bit crazy. How are we gonna achieve any of these crazy numbers? Well, first of all, we're partnering with local shops. We've already added a time slot booking where customers can book a time slot, and we generate a QR code that they can show to the shop owners so they can manage their stock levels even better. And we will be building a panel for shop owners where they can see where the users are coming from in the city, and while even predicting what will be the most valued products for the next weeks. We'll be adding gamification and badges as well to higher the user engagement to contribute towards updating the stock levels and help their own community. And we will be expecting a higher exposure through our partners, shops and pharmacy, social media. And we're really, really looking forward to collaborating with help your neighbor type applications so we can effectively reach out to the elder community. So what sets us apart from others? We offer trusted, reliable stock levels with the help of our trusted users and our shop partners. We offer small business incentive to work with us since we're driving our user traffic to them and helping their economy. We are helping users support their local shops more effectively because they can choose when to go, where to go. And Trova.do is a very easy to use platform since we're very user-centric, since we keep on testing and testing and testing. So who are we? We are Nestor, the developer, Hanso, designer, me, and we've been working very closely recently with a data scientist and a social media strategist to keep us progressing. So let's talk about money. We are hoping for a $1,200 in funding opportunity to cover our costs for the next 3 months to grow our platform. And our goal will be a growth of 500 books time slots on our platform. So we've been very, very lucky to be featured in different platforms, which has driven us traffic, but this will be our first funding opportunity. So we're very, very excited about this. And our future plans are based on scaling and growing to a global level since it's a global problem. So we will be introducing more languages and want to add information about the current amount of people in a store. So real time. So we make the whole experience more safer. And we want to retrieve data from news and social media trends to predict the scarcity of products in the future, in the next weeks. And finally build a native app for a better mobile experience. Thank you so much, and you can check us out in the following links. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much for your pitch, and now it's time for questions. So my first question, or the panelist question, how do you make money, or what's your feasibility study? How you will generate money for your startup?
Okay, so that's a good question because initially we have this conflict because we want to help as much as possible in a non-profit way, but it's true that we have to somehow survive and keep on working. So first focus would be to focus on getting as many users as possible and onboarding as many shops as possible to help us build a base, a reliable base. But further, we would be adding some sort of affiliate to affiliate link-ish when we drive our users to shop owners, physical shops. Plus, in the panel that we offer to the shop owners, we could offer even premium features like predicting what's going to be, what's going to be missing what's going to be more demanded in the future, like lowering their costs.
The second question. How do you see this solution or your website or platform would work after the lockdown finish?
Yeah, that's another question that's really, really good. So our hope, of course, is that this finishes as soon as possible and we don't have to work on this. But we think that we can actually rethink and refocus the platform that we already have, especially if we have data and refocuses in another path. We're not sure yet how, since it's such a volatile situation, but we think we can refocus it in another way instead of just throwing it away.
Okay, you mentioned that you are a winner for 2 previous hackathons. How do you think this hackathon, the third one, will change the map or change the impact for your product? And yes. Also the $1,200 that could change it?
So in the previous hackathons that we've been really honored to be selected, we got advertisement rather than financial help. And we've already got like some costs that would be, so we are way more aware of how we would use the $1,200 since we already know what costs we already have, which is around $400. So yeah, the main thing will be that it will keep us working and helping us onboard other people to the team rather than just like having a lot of expenses.
Mainly you will be spending it on salaries or boarding people to the team?
Not so much salaries, but infrastructure cost and probably marketing campaigns to bring users. Not so much salaries. Maybe coffees.
Our last question is, did you contact shops already, or do you have shops, or you are going only on your city, or?
So we initially contacted big supermarkets, and then we realized that they had a huge bureaucracy system, so it would be really hard to actually work with them. So we're now focusing on contacting small businesses. So yeah, we we have already contacted big supermarkets, but yeah, we have to focus on.
What is the incentive for these shops to put their products on your platform?
So I would say it's since there's so many small businesses that are losing a lot of money, if we drive our users to their shops, like, hey, this shop has this ingredient that you're looking for, then people are going to go to this shop that maybe they haven't been before, but it's going to have whatever they wanted instead of the shop that they usually go to.
Okay, thank you very much. And now you can leave. Thank you for your pitching and for answering questions. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, how do I...
Okay, so coming next, we will have 10 minutes break till we have start with the next project.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, hello everyone. So we are back from the break. So the second team will be the 3D healthcare, 3D health hack, right? And the presenter is Ali Hussein.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so hello everyone, dear judges. May I start?
Amr, can we start?
Yes, you can start.
Okay, thank you. So you can start, Ali.
And please, if you can share my screen, that would be great. Not mine, no, my video.
Okay. You can start right now.
Sorry, Amr?
Yes, you can start.
Yes. So, dear judges, IEEE organizers, sponsors, thank you for making this successful event happening. I would like to start by proudly sharing with you that the process of the 3D printing face shield was applied in my country, Lebanon, and we were able to deliver to the needed amount of face shield to the main coronavirus center in Lebanon last weekend. So yes, the time of 3D printing face shield was successfully reduced from 6 hours to under 5 minutes. Here we can see how easy it is to print such face shield. And today I will address two main topics: how to apply it for other countries remotely, and how to make it sustainably and profitably for both 3D printer heroes and the super OK. So our idea is simply connecting 3D printer owners to people who need 3D printed things. For example, imagine that I'm married and I have 2 kids. I'm not, by the way. I will access my phone, write www.superok.com. Then I will choose from the list the nearest 3D printer owner and the higher rate. So I will assign him to customize 4 face shields, each in the name of each member family that of my family. According to a research published by Forbes in 2018, the market value of 3D printing industry was worth $7 billion. The funding teams contain a diversity of skills, ranging from 3D printing to business managing, going to software engineers. And we are working by dividing and assigning works to each and every person. Now we talk about teams. We must ask IEEE professionals to help in this kind of projects, because we believe in IEEE power to change. As engineer Ahmad Zughbi said in the IEEE session last week, execution is a key. Our first priority was to launch the website, and the Friedrich Foundation is going to help us building as a prize of winning the hackathon among Lebanon and Syria the last 2 weeks. Meanwhile, we will start on an educational platform starting from 10 May 2020. That's me tomorrow. We will upload daily videos in several languages. Our goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers within a year. And since we are in the customization business, education must be customized. So we will use a diversity of softwares, from animation to customized videos, latest technologies like the interactive videos. You know, you can edit your own video.
regarding the budget, the award will be invested in making professional daily videos translated in 3 languages for a 5 to 7 month period of time. We will also have a donation plan for this year. If someone gave us $1, for example, we will give a face shield, an award for Palestinian and Syrian refugees in Lebanon. And we have also additional sources to help and improve people to donate. Like if they invest $50, we will customize some of those 3D shields and write his name, then give them to Palestinian and refugees, and then take photos for him. So the first year will focus on how to fight COVID. Next year, we will start advanced master classes on 3D printing and mainly on 3D printing. From there is also other additional plans for exponential growth, like generating stable stream of income for 3D printing heroes and for the super OK. But now, at the meantime, we must focus all our effort to fight against the COVID. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ali, for the pitch and the presentation. So there is the first question that we have is that there is already many of similar initiatives that's using widely an extended platform. How you will compete with those voluntary basis platform that we have in the market?
You're addressing, in your question, you're addressing the 3D printer owners workshop, or you're addressing the online platform that is sourcing this activity? Because there is from both. Yani, 3D printer workshops are volunteering to make 3D printer shields, and also online platforms are volunteering to push 3D printer owners to do that. Our main idea is that we have a product that can be easily 3D printed in less amount of time. They are using now a 3D printable product that need a lot of time. Each face shield could take hours to complete. But this face shield, as you saw now, it took minutes, 2 minutes. So we have a big competing advantage. And regarding the website, we will link any person who has a 3D printer to accomplish a certain task from another person, to leverage and to compete with others, with other similar websites that, by the way, they are not so well known yet, and even big competitors want to enter, but they didn't enter yet. So I think that this is the perfect time to launch such website in collaboration and in the same time of the YouTube channel, because YouTube channel is very important to leverage and generate lead for this website throughout this year of hard work and hopefully a great initiatives.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the face mask design, did you make it within the team, or it was a pre-designed face mask that you used to print?
Okay, this is a face shield, and the face mask is that we put it here. It covers.
Yes.
Yes, we don't do it. But if someone else want to put his file on our website, we'll welcome any other, even competitor, to put files on our website, and so people can benefit from. Yeah.
My main question is the design of the face mask, not the face shield, that you mentioned.
Yeah.
The one that you did, this design, you all as a team did it, or?
Yeah. First, I started it. It was the Lebanon response team launched a need. They needed the face shield for the Rafik Hariri Hospital in Lebanon, and you know, we're in a 120 billion debt, and we don't have resources, and we needed those. So I was obligated to create it. I created it using collaboration with the hospital. It took 1 week of collaboration. Personally,
yes,
and also other people from the community here and of 3D printing helped me in how to make standards for those. Now we have several standards. We can use them if a country.
Clear.
Yes.
Yes, it's clear. It's clear. The answer is clear. So next question is, what for this project to be sustainable, what is the business model that you will be adopting, and how you will make money to make it sustainable? Or you will
yes.
only, you mentioned donations and those stuff, so how you will make it sustainable as business later on?
Yes, excellent. On the first place, just the first year, we will focus on the funds we will get from this award and from other hackathons that we want. But later on, we will focus mainly on the platform. Because we will have a platform of 3D printing, and people can put their job and take a job. There is tons of way to make. One of it is to make advanced master class. For example, we are planning to make master classes of 3D printing the next year, not this year, the following year. That will generate quite decent amount of money. But later on, there is the range of capability of such a platform is very huge, extremely huge. People don't yet understand how much this can be beneficial for them and provide value. Imagine.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So how do you do the quality control, or to control the quality of the end product?
Great.
Is it dependent by all 3D printer, or you have something to control online?
Mm-hmm. Usually, when we print, there is something called the hot end. Here, the temperature, the melting temperature of the plastic is around 200 degrees. So any kind of bacteria will be will die. But to have more control about the process, well, we can't control it 100%, but we can tell people who will design face shield how to control it. No, don't touch it. Don't touch it unless you wear gloves. Put it on a package. You use UV lights to kill the virus. There is some extension, but and they are better than using the traditional methods.
Yes, for the sake of time. Yes, Ali. For the sake of time, how do you plan to spend if you won the $1,200?
We will a YouTube channel because our marketing will be the YouTube channel. Will be focused on that for educational purpose, and so when people come on and enjoy our resources and what we have, they will go to the website and this is the way that will generate lead. So we will spend the majority of the money on leveraging subscribers and people followers on YouTube because it is a long-term winning game.
So
and especially yes,
last question. What is the production yield? What we mean is the percentage of the passing products that can be used out of total produced products. Is it in terms of percentage?
It's a great question, and I have the solution. The rate of failure in 3D printing is very high. But using this method, you will be able to predict very soon the failure of any face shield and change the settings to recap. So, for example, now it took less than 2 minutes. So it will be very easy and cost effective to directly remove that piece and replace it by another piece. That will higher the percentage and higher the efficiency of the total process of this particular product. We didn't talk yet about other.
Yes, and given the fact that you are connecting the demand from other people and the owners of the 3D printers, so how you will manage the control of the quality and the reliability of the products that has been produced?
Okay, there is on the platform a rating for each 3D printer owner, and later on, after this year, we will do some advanced master classes for people who need that. And if they took that master class, we will give them the eligibility of opening a small fab lab. Taking our name, the idea will be that people will open fab labs in several villages and other control, and we will control that using the method that we teach them, the method that we require.
Okay.
How to, yes, that.
Clear.
And we also
Okay.
they can lots of way.
Yes, thanks a lot, Ali, for the pitching, and good luck. We have paused the time, so thank you, and thanks for the efforts and
Thank you,
the whole
everyone.
team. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So next project, Amr?
Next project is called Virtual Classroom, Rana. Rana, can you start your presentation?
So next project is ready? Virtual classroom? So Amr, is the next project is ready, or we move to next one till virtual classroom is ready?
go to home health care patient.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can anyone hear me? I mean, I have a little problem using these. There are a lot of platforms. I've been wearing on Google, and there's Zoom, and we have a little problem with it.
Patient, Zoom meeting for teaching, okay?
I don't understand it. Can you repeat it? I mean, I didn't get it.
For verification, and Zoom meeting is for teaching, okay?
Okay, I will try my colleagues.
The team of virtual classroom, right?
Yes, we are the team. We are visual classroom team, and one of our participants seems to not be here. No, she's here, but she have a little minor microphone and audio kind of issue, and she's solving it right now. I don't know what to do.
Okay. So, are you going to share the presentation with us?
Yes, but we have a little problem. I mean, I'm trying to solve it. One of my participants doesn't have the audio online, and I have.
Okay, we'll go to another project till you fix your issue. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, home health care patient, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, and one of my team members, Asim, should be included in the room for the question.
Hello.
Hi, do you hear me?
Hello.
So Rana, we already moved to another project. So please, you're the next, okay?
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Yes,
are you seeing my screen? Okay.
You can start.
Yes, Mustafa, you can start.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, I'm Mustafa from the West team, and today I will tell you about our project that is home healthcare patient tracking application. And our project is artificial intelligence-based home healthcare decision support and tracking software. The problem is that the follow-up to home healthcare patient is not made digitally, and home healthcare data is not processed. This makes it difficult to follow the patient's situation. Healthcare professionals are obligated to learn the examination drugs and the patient status previously applied to the patient during the visits. With the current COVID-19 outbreak, the patient's visits have decreased considerably. Since the patient in this group are in the highest risk group of the COVID-19, the hygiene requirements during the visit complication, the maintenance procedures. In addition to this situation, symptoms monitoring of the home healthcare patient and people in the geriatric class, it means that they older than 65 years old, and the potential and recovering COVID-19 patients, we should follow them and analyze their symptoms, both for the COVID-19 patient and the home healthcare patient and geriatric people. Our measures are patient monitoring, staff tracking, and decision support system, customer relationship management, and the COVID-19. With this project, we anticipate that the follow-up to visit patients will increase, and the patient and patient-related satisfaction, and the number of patients served and efficiency. And that is the web prototype page and Salesforce page. It's the CRM cloud, and very popular in the USA. This is our Android prototype. And this is our home healthcare decision support page. And the data of the 762 diabetes were processed anonymously, and we obtained an accuracy of the 75%. And this is our COVID-19 risk prediction tool. For the COVID-19 symptoms follow-up, the data, more than 22,000 people, COVID-19 patients, were processed all over the world, and we obtained an accuracy of the 95%. And the market, the number of the home health care patients in Turkey every year increased to 2.6, and in America increasing by 3rd point. And many institutions around the world provide home health care services. And our team, we have experience on the software development, big data, AI technologies, testing, mobile technologies, and Python and SPSS. All members are studying for the PhD degree. And how to use, we are aiming to do home health care staff, doctors, nurses, or the direct customers can use our application. And we are trying to make our UI is very user-friendly and so simple. As you know, if the geriatric class wants to use our application, it should be very easy. And the doctors don't want to waste their time with the data entry, because that it should be very easy and simple UI. And actually we need $50,000 to complete the project. But with that competition price, we are making investment and invest the marketing, the whole money. That's our roadmap. In the latest stage of the project, video speech, video recognition, sensor and smartwatch integration, like Apple Watch, will be supported. We are aiming to support all of them. We are previously participated in other competition on home health care in Turkey, and have published conference paper about home health care. Right now we have.
Okay, Mustafa, we have to interrupt you because 5 minutes is finished now. Yeah, and we move to questions and answers. First question: can you summarize your value proposition in one sentence?
In one sentence, our application, AI-based home health care tracking application. We just track the people, home health care patient status, and giving feedback data for the doctors, and try to increase the efficiency and satisfaction for the customer, I mean the patients and the doctors.
Okay, question number 2, who are your competitors and what is your advantage?
Actually, we have competitors, not directly, but our advantage is this is a support system, because all over the world there is no system for the home health care data. No one working on that, and no one analyzes the home health care data for that. This is our first difference from our competitors. And the second one, we are planning to adding a staff tracking system. We should analyze the healthcare staff, the spending time with the patients, and patient satisfaction. We are just sending the surveys after the visits to all patients, and the patients will check the survey and giving points to the service. And by the way, we just analyze the system, doctors or nurses, patient satisfaction, patience, all of it.
Question number 3. You mentioned you need 50K United States dollar, but how are you going to spend $1,200?
Sorry, let me go back.
Yeah.
Could you repeat your question? Sorry.
Yeah, related to the budget. Yeah, you mentioned you need $50,000.
Yeah.
And but how are you going to spend $1,200?
Yeah, 1,200. We just plan to spend for the marketing.
For the marketing. And
yeah, for the marketing.
Have you done market research?
Sorry?
Have you done market research?
Market research, actually, we are very close to the academic section, so that we want to join some congress. And the HIMSS, maybe you know the HIMSS situation, the digital hospital system. It's very famous from all over the world. We want to join the HIMSS Congress, but it's very expensive for us. Actually, we want to show our product or the idea in there. We want to spend like that way.
Okay. Thank you, Mustafa, and hope you will have a nice day. And
thank you. You too.
Wait for our feedback.
Okay. See you.
Okay, Mustafa, sharing screen. Okay. The next team is virtual classroom. Are you ready?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Alright. Sorry for the previous issue. So, my name is Rana, I'm from Lebanon, and the problem we want to solve is that since the lockdown started, a lot of students had to change the way they learn and teach, and almost by mid-March, 1.3 billion people were affected. Me and my teammates we're all students, and my mom as a teacher owns an after school. Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes? Yes?
We haven't started yet.
Hello? Oh, sorry.
Okay. Your teammate is here?
Yes, I am here.
Oh, you both are connected. Okay. So can you start again?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, it's...
Go ahead.
All right. So the problem we're trying to solve is in the educational track. And we are all in the team students. And my mom is a teacher. My brother owns an after school. And we all agree that there's a very big lack in the in online education. Of this lack is that it's interactive, it's not collaborative, it's not possible for the teacher to give individual feedback on the students' work, and some teachers had to change their method of teaching, switching to shows instead of blackboard like they used to on classrooms. So to validate our idea at this point, we conducted a small survey where 39 participants took part, and 37% only thought that video conferencing tools which are made for business are efficient for online learning. 71% prefer learning or teaching using writing on a board. 63% thought that adding a whiteboard is beneficial for video learning, and 80% preferred real classrooms instead of virtual ones, mainly because of interaction, practicality, and less distraction. Our solution is a demo where the teacher can write and draw on a board in real time, and It includes also a private board where only the teacher and the students can see the board, except of sharing with all the students. Teacher can request students to write on the board, and students can add people to their private board so that the teacher can ask them to work in groups.
So Rana, can you turn off your sharing screen? I mean, I can't share my screen unless you turn off yours.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
So, how do we stop?
Yeah, just click this share screen button again and it will stop.
Stop share.
Okay, thank you very much. So I got the screen one. So for the market, do you have my screen or no?
Yes.
Okay, let me check that again. Okay, for the market impact, we build our idea around the concept of necessity. I mean, how much the world of education actually needs it. So we search throughout the web, and we understand that people want a more interactive experience, a step-by-step approach to the lessons, writing on the whiteboard and this stuff, and an easy environment to use, and most importantly, a low-cost, somewhat free platform. But what they're getting is a cold online meeting platforms, slideshow summaries, confusing environments with low-quality UX design, and somewhat expensive and paid platforms. So we're offering the people a user-friendly experience, a whiteboard step-by-step approach, a more classroom-like interactive environment, and a free platform, which will result in a guaranteed users. Now, we're implementing the necessity that leads to satisfaction of the user and that attract more users. Because we're using a freemium business model, having guaranteed user will draw attention of the organizations, which will be our premium users, and that leads to increased revenue. And that's how we're going to make money out of the whole project idea. So for the team, we need to know three things: what we are and where we are right now, what we know in the first place, what we're going to do, which is to design a web-based platform, and what we need or where we want to go, and what we need in the team for continuing the project. So in our team, we have front-end and back-end developers, a UI and UX graphic designer, which is me, and researchers, which will research throughout the web to understand the needs of the market. But we need three set of skills for continuing the project: marketing manager, a product manager, and a web technician. Because we're like a startup kind of, project, we use project manager and marketing manager. We can choose them by, selecting them through the management students in the universities which are interested in the idea. But for the more professional, job in the project, which will be a web technician, we are interested to hire a professional for the job because it results in a better quality in the work, and in the long term, it will reduce our total expenses. For the implementation of the plan, we had the phase 1, which is the idea. Phase 2 is the implementation of it. Phase 3, which will be the beta testing, and phase 4, which is launching. The idea the first phase, which is the idea, was done the hackathon. We registered on the hackathon, we gathered the team, we brainstormed on the idea.
I have to interrupt because 5 minutes.
Oh.
Is done.
Okay,
Yeah,
can I have this? I finish this slide? There's 2 or 3 slides. It won't take much time. Just 1 minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. We used the hackathon to build up our idea, and now we need to implement it. We need to plan the project, design it, code the project, and we need to know the marketing plan, and we need to also test the project. After the alpha testing, we open the project to the public as a beta version and get feedback from actual users. And we use that feedback to edit our project based on what people actually need. In the end, we need to polish up the project for final tests. And in the phase 4, we need to launch the project to the public. And because it's an open source project, we need to upload the project source to a platform like GitHub or GitLab for open source kind of applications. Thank you very much.
Okay, we move to questions and answers. First question, is there any competitor and what is your advantage?
Rana, will you answer that?
Sure. Okay, yeah, our main competitors are Microsoft Teams because they already sell to institutions, educational institutions, but our advantage is the things we shared, that they don't have a collaborative platform, they don't have a whiteboard, and there's no way for students to work in groups.
Mm-hmm. And how are you going to make money out of this?
All right, so we...
sure, go ahead.
So we plan on selling a premium version for educational institutions, basically like they buy Microsoft Teams. If we have a more competitive price, then they might buy from us. And especially that they need to have an advantage over online learning, and this advantage can be in real-time classes being collaborative and interactive.
And I can add that more big organizations like universities and big schools can access the premium version and can pay for the premium version for the adding features that we implemented in our project, like the history of the boards and history of the previous classrooms and these kind of things.
Okay, what is the business model?
Okay, the business model is that it will be free for users who want to just use the demo we showed in the prototype, where they can enter a classroom and have a real-time class, collaborative and interactive class. And the paid version is when universities want access to a database where they have history of the classes and they can have forums and questions asked outside the real-time class.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like
have you tested the tool with teachers or students?
I have tested with a very small group of my friends and 2 of my teachers, and they all had good feedbacks, and they were surprised that actually the idea is quite good idea. Of course, it needs a lot of improvements because we only did it in 3 days, but we believe it has a really good potential.
Okay, and how are you going to use the $1,200?
Okay, so the $1,200, we will use part of it for hosting with Heroku, which is about $250 per month. We plan on using it for the 6 months, plus marketing.
Okay, have you considered integrating it to an existing learning management system?
We've thought of that, but we haven't studied it yet, to be honest.
Okay, what is age categories you are targeting as you are getting or have video streaming and chatting options? Did you check the reliability and rules of getting it for public, especially if children will be involved?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. What is the age categories? Because you are going to use it in public, especially if there's children will be involved.
So the age category is from the smallest classes, because some of them, very small students, are already using Zoom and such applications, Microsoft Teams, to do the courses. So I think we can turn around this problem. And we will focus on school students, because I think university students can manage more, but they still can use it. Also, students in between can use it to study together, maybe.
Also, children can only chat when there's a manager or the advisor. The teacher is present in the classroom. I mean, after the teacher is left, they can't chat anymore. So it's kind of safe environment.
Okay, thank you, Rana, and thank you, Aliza.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
The next team is anti-COVID-19 helmets.
Yes.
Is there a presentation to be shared?
Yes. Okay. Can you see the screen, please?
Yes, yes.
Sorry for that. Okay.
You can start.
Okay. Globalization has come about as cool breeze for mankind, but it has taken its toll on the most essential component, the construction workers. This is Maimuna, and I am here to raise the problem of construction workers who are at time neglected or simply at higher risk of contracting congestive disease. So, pressure is growing on government to act to protect construction workers against the risk of coronavirus. We, as Team Anti-COVID-19, would like to share a small but extremely effective measure to cope with COVID-19. We believe that the major problems prevent construction companies from producing its best is the fact of working under the stress of being infected by corona, as it will cause bad reputation for the company, although it's spending money frequently on masks to avoid this. It's a deeply disturbing issue for us. So the question arises, how anti-COVID-19 helmet formed? It was a normal family evening started by my father when he asked, "You are engineers, why don't you design something to help people?" and end up by me presenting here. So we believe that our design will provide a stress-free and comfortable environment for construction workers. It's efficient as IR sensor is fast to detect obstacle near the face area, then alarm and prevent user from touching their faces. It's cheap cost as it's only the first investment, and eco-friendly as it's reusable, and we are aiming to have helmet made of biodegradable plastic. So as a result, this device will increase the sense of security for the workers and the company, as it's reminding them with their don'ts. And it will reduce the chances of being infected by the virus because it's meant to reduce how often workers touch the face. While each time alarm rings, the worker is becoming more aware of his surroundings and can therefore conduct themselves in a more cautious manner. The scale of the target segment is huge, as we are considering all construction companies in Qatar that still have workers and worried about the livings during the pandemic. As you can see, the market size of the workplace wellness in Qatar is $6.6 billion. So moving to the funding team. It consists of Muhammad Naji, who has more than 25 years experience in marketing and business, and all other members are engineers from different disciplines. Toward implementing our project, we are aiming to raise the fund for the MVP at the beginning, then for the marketing, and in the future to develop more features in the product to further expand our marketing, our market segment. So to introduce the device to the market, we publish an advertisement on Twitter to aware people about the idea, mostly targeting the construction companies and the blue workers, to guide them to our landing page where they can pre-order the product. The unit cost is $5 for the circuit components, and it will be higher if we consider the helmet, adding $2 as a profit. So we are requesting $1,200 to start our project, as we will need to invest in specialized factory and logistic capabilities to support faster growth during the pandemic. But what can this simple device offer in the future? Well, it can be connected to other safety equipment and alarm when some are missing, and the temperature sensor will help in continuously checking the health of workers. That could be connected to mobile app to acquire data. And it may also have more options for the voice alarm. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's time for questions. So the first question is, have you contacted any of the partners, like the suppliers or the customers? Like you said, you will be focusing on blue collars in the industry. So have you contacted like contractors, construction contractors, or firms or big factories?
Yes, we already contacted one of the construction companies here in Qatar, and like by phone and then by emails, and we asked them if they are interested in something which may reduce the number of masking they are providing for the workers, and they were excited for the idea, and like that was the end of the story.
Okay. How much do you think this helmet limit the risk overall? Like if you know the temperature, and the other feature is when you put your hand on your face, right? How do you think this will limit the risk overall for the COVID-19?
Okay, so according to some studies, the main reason of getting infected by coronavirus is like around 80% by touching the face. So according to this, if we assume that the workers will not touch the face when they are alarmed, it will be reduced like to the same equal percentage. But because this is not the case, it will only reduce at the end of the day. It won't like limited like to zero level. So it will be close to this.
They can still touch their face. They will only be having a notification that they did that, right?
Yes, true.
Okay. Why are we focusing on the workers? Can't we apply this on the healthcare staff?
Again, please.
Why you are focusing on the field of blue collars or workers? Can we apply this for the healthcare staff?
Well, for the healthcare staff, it's a different story because they are in a direct connection with the patients. So it will be like too dangerous to not wearing a mask or having a shield on their faces to prevent any let's say sneezing or something like that from the patient side. So, but for the workers, it's not the case. They are in a high risk workplace, let's say, but still not as the healthcare.
Okay, so we have 2 questions left. Mm-hmm. So do you have a feedback from any of the user? Like, do you have the MVP and give it for someone of the users and he gives you back a feedback?
In fact, my MVP is just like stayed with me and my family. And my father is working on this, like he used labor, let's say, and work with workers, so he know their difficulties, and he was saying that this idea is good for them. Like it will be just more comfortable for them as they are doing physical activities. So it's hard to wear a mask, let's say, all the day.
Okay, this takes us to the next question. Not the mask, but the face shield. Don't you think the face shield will be more effective, especially for the work environment? Like it will, a full face shield will prevent also touching your face.
Yes, that's true. It will prevent touching the face too. But we can say that this one is more like eco-friendly as it's reusable. While for the face shield, it will end like the lifetime for it will be shorter than this device.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can leave now, and we will complete with the next.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we have the next project is Community Hero. We have Andrea and Christos here. Are you ready? Hello, Community Hero, do you hear me?
Yes, we are ready.
Are you ready? Do you want to share the screen or something?
Yes, I'm going to share the screen.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Please tell us when we should start.
Yeah, you can.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Hello, everyone. In the past few days, we built Community Hero, a platform to tackle a huge problem that all communities around the world are facing today. This is my grandmother, Anthula. She's 85, she lives alone and recently underwent heart surgery. She does her shopping alone. However, as we know, going out to the supermarket carries significant risk of infection. Anthula could order online, one might say, but Anthula does have a problem. Online ordering and online payments are too complex for her. She can't even add a contact to her iPhone. Since my grandmother can't use Uber Eats or PayPal, she has no option but to go to the supermarket every week and risk infection.
And if you think that the risk isn't that high, why don't you have a look at this study? All of those particles are caused by a single cough. Not only have they crossed the aisles, they stayed there for multiple minutes. That's why we built Community Hero. It's an accessible grocery delivery platform powered by your next-door neighbors. We designed Community Hero to be as simple as possible. Anthula places her order through our SMS or Facebook Messenger chatbot, and she gets her order delivered to her doorstep by volunteers, and in the meantime has minimal hassle, no complex sign-up or website navigation. Now we'll be moving on to a demo. Firstly, Anthula registers on Messenger just by sending her address. Then she sends us a message, the items she needs in order to add them to her cart. Once she chooses the best options from the ones handpicked per specially devised NLP algorithm, she can check out and will get a confirmation when a volunteer is assigned to her order. Moving on, you can now see what the volunteers would see. They're presented with a control panel built on Django, showing the locations of orders and stores, allowing them to choose which order to deliver. Upon selecting Anthula's order, we are presented with guidelines to ensure safety during orders, and finally the full order details. We have also implemented an SMS chatbot and a web app for ordering, which have similar functionality to a messenger bot. You can try all three of them right after our presentation ends. So, how does it work? Stores interested in protecting the community sign up with our platform through our specially made site, where vendors can upload inventory data and store information. In return for the digital traffic Community Hero drives to the supermarkets, we will be receiving a small commission on each order made through our platform. We expect to source volunteers through local NGOs in each region we serve in order to allow us to scale quickly. These volunteers will be provided with PPE using the money we make from commissions.
So, what's the size of our target market? 101.4 million elderly people. And that's just in the EU, Middle East, and Northern Africa. We could only imagine what our potential market could be if we went global. And how accessible is this target market? And Thula does in fact have a Facebook account, and she's not the exception because people aged 65 plus make up for 40% of Facebook's demographic. And on the other hand, we still need the SMS chatbot because even though a lot of elderly are on Facebook, a lot of them are also not on Facebook. In fact, 50% of the elderly don't even use the internet once a week. Therefore, with a combination of SMS and Facebook, we expect to reach the majority of our target markets. The end effect is clear. Lives will be saved. Saving a single life alone will be worth it, but we truly believe that Community Hero has the potential to save thousands of lives if it is implemented at a wide enough scale. Are you convinced yet? We have already implemented the vast majority of our software. All that's left now is some finishing touches to ensure scalability and stability. Before we go live, we will also need to reach out to local NGOs to start finding sponsors and reach out to stores to get them signed up and ready to accept orders. We expect that this could be done within the next 2 weeks. We believe that our project is close to release. Therefore, we don't have any immediate development costs. After release, our main costs would be infrastructure, including servers and a virtual phone number totaling to $350 per month, an estimate of $8 per 30 orders to cover protective equipment costs, and we believe that with the amount given to winners, we could begin to provide coverage for the whole of Cyprus as soon as possible. We're extremely dedicated to make Community Hero a reality, and some of the features we are planning to implement in the future are minimizing the cost for users, expanding the team, improving the delivery portal, and building with the intent to remain relevant post-corona by providing a service to those with mobility and health issues. Community Hero was built by a team of highly dedicated students from Cyprus interested in the social good and doing what we can so that people like Anfula don't need to risk their lives for something as simple as groceries. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think right now we will start with questions. The first question is, do you plan on implementing a way to coordinate the shop stock with your app, or the shop owners or stockholders shop owners will fill the data themselves?
We already have it's already built in, the part where the stores can easily integrate their inventories with our website. And this is done through our web app that we built for both stores and customers. So this feature is already implemented. Stores can easily sync their inventories with ours, provided they provide them at a certain schema that we already have built.
So I can see your product is mainly based on volunteers. So how you are going to onboard them, and what is the incentive for them?
Christo, do you want to take this one?
First
Sure.
one, how you are going to onboard your volunteers, because the product is mainly based on them. Second one, what is the incentive for them?
Sure.
For the first one, we expect that we can work together with local NGOs so that they can help in sourcing the volunteers so that we can scale more easily. And the incentive for them is that the social good and helping someone that could be their parents or their grandparents, and making sure they remain safe during the pandemic.
Yeah, and to add to that, there's also already like many volunteer-driven social good projects which already exist and are very successful. So an example is something called Be My Eyes, which is an app to help blind people look around using their smartphone, and a volunteer who talks to them out of the smartphone. So there's already evidence that projects which are focused on basically being a good person and being good to your neighbor and all that work already. And so we think it's a proven concept that volunteers do exist.
Okay, perfect. I think we have one more question. Okay, so where will you start?
We plan to start locally in Cyprus, and we plan to expand as fast as we can to basically cover the most of Cyprus, all the major cities. And after that, we hope to expand to basically countries that are near us. So Greece, the Middle East, Turkey, and the EU, North Africa, generally, like, take it region by region. The good thing about Community Hero is that since we depend on local NGOs for volunteer sourcing, it can be very scalable, and we can enlist people very quickly. And the platform is already built to support different countries. So we do believe we have the scalability to expand quickly.
Perfect. So our judge is wondering about how you are going to make money to make it sustainable.
Christo, do you want to get that?
Sure.
How you are going to make money to make this platform or Community Hero sustainable?
Well, since we'll be providing traffic essential to supermarkets, we expect that we would be able to get a small commission from each order that we provide to the supermarkets, which would be mostly enough to cover the costs that we have for hosting and PP.
Yeah, basically it's an affiliate marketing model. That's how we plan to gain most of our revenue. And we're also looking at other sources such as government grants and, well, basically grants, such as the one that this hackathon is providing.
Okay, so you right now have mentioned like grants. Have you considered like working with local authorities?
Well, of course, we'd be open to that. We'd be open to any source of funding, really, and any opportunity to expand our service to as many regions as possible, and so that we can reach as many people.
Okay. I think like we are done with questions. Thank you for your presentation, and we are going to take the next team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Community Hero. Actually, Sophie, it was the last team we have today. And thank you all for your efforts that you gave this teaching phase. The results will come out on our Facebook and Discord channels. So stay tuned. And thank you to all judges who were with us today. Thank you, Dalal, John, Laura, Amin, Rawan, and Sobhi, and Ahmed. Stay alert and follow our Facebook page to see the results.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and keep it up.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you as well. All the best and keep well. Bye-bye.